Thor citation 24 SL on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis. So it's 24 feet long, and just think like 11 feet tall when you're going through anything. I'm not quite sure exactly how tall it is, but if you think 11, you should be okay. So it has these automatic stairs that goes like, that'll come down when you open it, unless your battery is not charged, then they won't come down. That's how you know your battery is not charged. Battery compartment is actually right here as well. So you just twist that and then open it up. And there's a trickle charger that I have if for some reason it doesn't charge. Right here over here is some really handy switches. So first of all, you want to be in use status in order to use the RV right here.
And that's the entire time you have it in use status?
Well, while you're out using it, yes. If you're gonna like go to Lake Powell and leave it sitting, you probably should turn it off.
Okay. So at night, just turn it off?
Nope.
Put it in store? Or?
You can, well, if you're not using anything, like there's no lights on, you can put it in store. That's fine. But your water pump won't work.
I see. The store shut everything off?
Store shuts everything off. So this is basically your power to everything that's coach.
Okay.
There's your awning button and the step button. So right here, you can push this button in. So if you're at a campsite, the step won't move every time you open and shut the door, which is handy.
Perfect. And then Michelle, just for the awning, it's just literally, is that the actual?
Yep. So we're gonna do that now. So we just push it, and we're gonna push out button here, and then it just starts going. This one, the door does not have to be closed because it's taller than the door, which is really handy. We're learning about the generator and all of what is over here. So this is right next to the bathroom door. You see the kitchen is here. And then right next to the bathroom door, you have kind of your control panel. So we're gonna do the generator first. And you push this red button right here, and you wait for the screen to show up. And then you push start. Hold it down, and it'll start. Now generators, the way that they work, to my understanding, is they need a little bit of time to like get going. So once you see that the lights on the microwave show up in a few seconds, then the microwave will work, but not quite the air conditioner quite yet. Give it a minute or two before you go turning things on. The other thing to think about is on the generator, think one large item at a time. If you're gonna microwave a burrito, you can't run the air conditioner at the same time or you'll short out your generator. So don't do that. So just think one large item at a time. If someone's blowing their hair dry, don't use the microwave or the air conditioner. Does that make sense?
And if it blows out,
there's a trip switch. We'd have to figure it out on this one. I know where it is on my other one, but on this one I don't. So if you're a fourth of a tank or less on your diesel to the front of the car, because this generator actually works on diesel, your generator's not going to start. So make sure that you're always at least a half a tank or more, or you might just get stuck in the middle of nowhere. So you might be able to drive your car but not run your generator, and then if your push out is out, then you're kind of stuck.
All the same tank?
All the same tank.
What size?
It is a large tank. I think it's 25. So it's not super small, but not. So over here also, we're just going to go ahead and turn off the generator. You have quite a bit of your things here. These are the tank levels. So LPG is your gas. So that is your propane. That's going to run your propane stove here. And it's also going to run your fridge when you're not plugged in. So this one is not a smart fridge. You need to push it over to gas when you're tooling down the road and you're not plugged in somewhere. When you get to the campsite, you want to turn it over to the auto, or when you're plugged in anywhere, and that will run your fridge, because you don't want to run yourself out of gas. If you're plugged in, use your plug. So you got your LP, you got your batteries. It says they're full right now. That's the coach batteries here, so that's good.
And that was just the second button over.
That's the second button over battery right here. And then fresh tank is your fresh water. So we've got that full. Black tank is anything that goes down the toilet, and the sensor seems to be broken with this one. It says it's full, but we just dumped it. Okay. And then the gray tank says empty. So if the gray tank says empty, most likely you did dump your black as well, because that would make sense, right? Then you've got these buttons down here.
The black tank is coming from the toilet.
Gray is anything that's from a sink or the shower.
Yeah.
Okay, so your slide extend. Right now we have it extended, so you've got all this space right here for your bed to pull out and everything else. When you do your extend, you want to push it and have it go out until it starts kind of acting like it's done, and then push it just a tiny bit longer, maybe 3 seconds longer than you think it needs to be. So it goes out into its full spot. If you don't, it'll start going out less and less and less over time.
And you'll hear it get to that point.
You'll hear it get to that point. And I'll show you, because I'll bring it in right now and it makes the same sound when it comes in. So right now we're going to bring it in. So it's moving. It's pretty cool because it makes it way bigger in here.
Does it lock into those?
No, that's for the table.
That's for the table.
Okay, so you're gonna hear it, that sound right there, and then stop. Does that make sense?
So once you hear that kind of starting to really work
Yeah,
like that.
then you know it's done. When you're coming back out, you're gonna do the same thing, give it its time to come out, and make sure you go do a full extend so that you don't start getting less and less of an extension every time you push out. Because at some point your bed's not gonna fit. So pushing that out, giving yourself all this good kitchen space. Right there. This is your water pump here. It has a red light on right now because it's on. When it's off, it'll do that. When you go outside to dump or to do your water outside, this might turn off. You need to come back and turn it on, or your toilet's not gonna work. So if your toilet's not working or your sink's not working, just make sure your little red light's on here. Then you have your tank heaters. You don't need to worry about those. Those don't need to be heated in the summer. Okay. LP gas on. So this is your water heater. And if you are tooling down the road or you're dry camping somewhere, boondocking, you'll want to turn on your gas to run your heater, your water heater. If you're plugged into a campsite or your home, you're going to want to turn it on the 110 volt.
Most likely we'll be using the LP because we're going to be boondocking. So.
Right. Okay. So you'll be using your LP. So you need to be careful and make sure that you've charged that generator if you're going to be out. Okay. So we'll talk about this right now. Right now our generator's not on. So I think the only thing that's going to use is our fan may turn on just battery. But I'm actually not 100% sure. I hear something clicking, but I think you need to be plugged in or be on the generator to use this, basically. Your furnace, if you were to go somewhere cold, should run on the gas and not have to have the generator going. So that should run on the gas and you can turn it to here. But your air conditioner and your fan need the generator or to be plugged in. Does that make sense?
Generator or plugged in to
a campsite or your home or whatever. Okay, so right now we're just going to turn all that off because we don't need any of that. So that's really everything on your control center there. You got a bathroom that is a full bathroom with a toilet and your own shower, which is nice. I put a shower curtain in there. You can use it if you want to or take it down. And your toilet paper and everything's in here. You do need to use real toilet paper for RVs. So I have it in there for you. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. Toilet paper thing fell off, so just leave it off. Perfect. To use the toilet, you basically have this little presser foot right down here. Kind of push it down like that. After you dump, and you want to always make sure that you have a little bit of water on top of your seal there. If you don't, it will smell. So if you can push it down just a tiny bit, and it won't let the thing open. It'll just fill it with water, so you can kind of keep the smell down.
Sure you got a little bit on that seal.
A little bit of water on the seal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just
also, in here we've got some drop-ins. So this stuff, basically after you dump, you just take one of these, open it up, dump it down there, and then put some more water in there so it can swish. This will help eat up your toilet paper and just make it smell better. So, but that's just basically every time you dump, you use one of those, and then there's another fluid in there. Okay. So you've got a cooking stove, you've got a convection microwave, and it's just small, but it works great. And then the cooking stove on this one, I like to have my lighter handy just in case it doesn't want to start because I don't want to blow my eyebrows off, right? So will you hold that for me? And I'll do this, go to the next part. Okay, let's go beds, yeah? Sure. We're all the way out, right? Okay. So yeah, will you do this again? Sorry. All right, so your beds. So this RV is really cool because it's set up for a bunch of different ways that you can do bedding in here. And we just had all of this recovered because Thor didn't do a really great job at using their vinyl very well. So everyone that owns a Thor of this year, their vinyl is completely ripped off. So we redid the whole thing and made it prettier and brought it to the, this century. Okay, so you take your cushions off. And then you got your seatbelts here. You can just let them in. And you're just going to go straight up like this. And then pull it out. And then get your legs out.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So more or less like a typical pull-out bed,
couch.
but make sure you get the legs out.
Get the legs out and get out of the way. And then come down over here. What I would say to do is if you have kids and you're going to be using all these beds, start up there first. Put that down. And then if you're using the front cab as beds, which we can do that all first before you get here. So this is kind of last step. And then you just pull this down and push it into place. So then I take these guys and put them back so that my head's not sinking down into the hole.
Perfect.
And you're done.
Okay.
So that's the bed, and there's sheets that go on top of that, or however you want to do it. We did build it up. The Thor ones kind of caved in. So if you own one of these, you might want to redo this. It'll be much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, to put it back, first you gotta put this guy back. You gotta pull your seatbelts back out. I like to keep them clicked together because they're just easier to get. It is kind of sometimes a two-person job. You want to put them on the other side of this pole. I'm just kind of pull them out of the way. I just kind of wedge them so that I don't have to have two people. And then this guy. And there are 3 seatbelts on this couch if you choose to use all 3 of them. Okay. And then up we go with this. I'm gonna jump in there and pull my legs down. Make sure they go all the way in. Then because this is newer and it has more material and cushion than the old ones, you kind of just have to, oh, it went down. Okay, push it down if it is not going down right all the way. That's it.
Perfect.
And pull your seatbelts through. I lost one. Okay, you can stop. Okay. Add-on. It's not on every Thor citation. It's a big, huge TV, and it's in that space. So this part right here, you don't want to tighten it down too tight, or it will actually like make it break. So you tighten down enough, and then the compression just with your hand, and then you release it like this. So you just lift up a little bit. Don't lift up from the TV. Lift up from the other part, and then untwist it, lefty loosey, let it down, and then this whole piece comes down and makes your bed up here.
So that's your stopper.
Yeah, and the stairs are already up there. One thing to really note is do not put anything up here. When the RV is closed, you're gonna be really tempted to stick a whole bunch of stuff up there because there's all this space. But then if you forget about it and you try and put it out, it actually ruins the slide out, and you'd be in trouble with having a stuck slide out.
Back out already, Mom?
Okay. Okay, so this is the fun stuff where you get to get nice and dirty and learn more things. So in this compartment, you can put storage in here also, but I have my wet hose here and then our power hose. The power connector right now, it has this adapter on it, which is a home adapter, but this is a 30 amp, so you take this yellow thing off and then plug it into your campsite with the 30 amp. You can also use the power cord to plug it into your house. Just note, it will probably not run your air conditioner on that. It will short out your fuse unless you really have a 30 amp. Okay, and this is your propane gas. It's a pretty easy setup for the person at the propane place, and you don't fill this up yourself. The propane people do it at the gas station, wherever you find propane. One thing to note here is that a lot of times they only fill up to 3/4, and that's considered full because they don't want to overfill them. And you want to ask them to leave it open after they're done. If they don't, make sure that you turn this very slowly, lefty-loosey, to open it. Okay? You don't need to turn it off while you're using the RV for camping and stuff like that. You want to leave it open. If you open it too fast, you'll get air in the lines, and it'll take you a long time to bleed the air out. So you'll have to run your stove a whole bunch of times until you get it to stay on. So just go lefty-loosey, very slow. So this is your wet bay right here. And in this unit, you have your local supply. So this is going to run up and down, okay? And it says local supply. So when you're hooked into a campsite, you'd hook your water hose, that white hose that's in the other compartment, to this. And then it will use the pressure from the campsite. It will turn off your water. It'll turn off your water pump and use the pressure from the campsite and the water from the campsite to run your showers and everything. Now, if you want to fill your tank, then you would turn it this way, horizontally, to this freshwater fill. Once you're done filling your water tank, you want to turn it back to local supply when you're going to disconnect and go running down the road. That way your water will work while you're running down the road. Most likely it would have tripped the switch, and you'll have to go in and turn the water pump back on inside. So if you find that you don't have water to your toilet or sinks, check your water pump on that wall of controls and see if that's turned off. Okay, so next, dumping. So you have this hose, and on some of them, this compartment, you can open it up and it will hold it for you, but for some reason the bottom has dropped out, so ours doesn't work that way. So you take this out, you're going to connect this into the ground, into the place where the the place that they tell you with the sewer. And then this part's gonna come up underneath. So you take this compartment off right here. And you can run your water hose up through here so you can shut this door, which is nice. And you can also run your sewer hose right up through here. It has a cap on it, so lefty-loosey to open it up, then have your other hand ready with that to put it on, and then just secure it over these little knobs right here. Okay, so that's how you put your hose on. Then what you're gonna do is, this is gravity filled. So you're going, once you have everything in place, make sure that this is in the ground at your campsite, or you're gonna have lots of fun with things coming out and it's nasty. So once that's all ready, then you pull your black lever right here. This is for all the waste that comes out of your toilet, the yucky stuff, okay? Let that drain out. A lot of times it'll kind of sit in the thing and you can feel it, it's heavy. You just have to raise it and kind of lower it and raise it and lower it until this is empty.
And it's just, you just pull out like a few inches out and just keep it out?
You'll feel it. Pull it out and leave it out. Gravity will pull it all of the waste out. Then when that's done, leave this black one open, so leave it pulled out, and pull out your gray. Now this is gonna dump everything that comes from your sink or your shower, and it'll kind of wash out the tube of all the black stuff as well, so that's nice. Then when you're done, make sure you shut these first before you move this guy. Don't touch him for a bit. Shut these first, and then you can take your little shower thing, which is nice, and you actually have the connections of water, hot and water right there, and you can wash right through your tube and wash it all back out into the waste, into the sewer. So that's handy. Make sure these are shut before you take any of this off. Take this off and make sure you put your lid back on. And then this guy goes back there. So a few things about the diesel. First of all, this is where your gas is, right next to this is the driver's side door, and that's where your gas is. And remember, this is a diesel. So think green and make sure you put diesel fuel in here. You're gonna be in a whole lot of trouble. So that's where you find your gas can. To jump your Mercedes, the battery's not actually in here. You just have a jumper portal.
So you have to push it to get to the...
Where's the...
You just ground it.
Oh, you can just ground it on anything?
So make sure your red
What
is
do you usually
positive.
ground it on?
Bare metal, usually not painted
Can
metal.
you put it on to like... You can basically like...
So you just find some metal like this.
Yeah, you can just probably put it up there.
Okay, so your red is going to go into here,
My dad's BMW's not.
and then your black is going to go into some
It's a
type of
German
metal
thing.
not painted.
It's a...
The good thing on the awning also, you see how it's kind of windy right now? I would not leave this out in this wind. You see the trees?
Even when it's kind of blustery.
It's blustery like this, I wouldn't leave it out because you don't want it to rip and then be stuck with an awning that won't come back in. So with the awning, you see that it's kind of extended that way, and you still have a bend in the arms a little bit, but you can tell that your actual material is all the way out. So stop at that point. Okay, so that's your awning. Out here, we also have a lot of storage. So you have this compartment that you can store quite a bit in, and it even goes back a little ways. And then you have, this is your generator right here on this one. I won't need to do much with that. This is an outdoor TV, which is handy if you want to be outside and do some outdoor TV stuff, which is cool.
That's nice.
And then this is a huge compartment. We have the table in here because it's just really heavy and kind of in the way. So that's where I put the table and the legs, but you can put it wherever you want.
Okay.
And then this is also a compartment that you can store things in. That's just like a, you know, run-of-the-mill helper thing. So if you get in trouble. Okay.